Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Vice Chair, we have.
I think so. Ready, I'm gonna get this one. Yes, yes.
We'll call our December 2nd, 2025 meeting to order. This public meeting of the Philadelphia Board of Pension and Retirement is being conducted in person in the Board of Conference Room at the board's offices on the 16th floor of the Center. Pursuant to section 21-15 of 3 of the Philadelphia Code, electronic recordings of this meeting will be made for Microsoft Teams conference technology and for an audio recording. Electronic recordings will be available to the public online at the board's website without charge and days. Please note that you consent to such recording by attending, participating, or speaking at such meetings. Our first order of business is a motion to adopt the rules of order that the board has approved use for our in-person public meetings that are electronically recorded. The purpose is to help ensure that accurate and complete audio or audio-visual recordings occur and comply with our code requirements. So a motion to adopt the procedures has been made and properly seconded. Hearing no discussion, I'll go to the roll. Brian? Rita? Marcia? Approve. Adam? Paul? Willie? And Carol? Motion carried unanimously. Thanks to motion made from the second meeting to our minutes from the October 23rd, 2025 meeting. No discussion, I'll go to the roll. Brian? Rita? Marcia? Adam? Paul? Andrea? Willie? And Carol? Motion carries unanimously. And before we move into the rest of the agenda, I also wanted to note that we are joined by Tom Davis from the Coastal Housing Version 3. We will have a special session later on. Item 3, consideration of 86 pension applications and 71 withdrawal applications made up to the second and discussion of item 3. And not Brian. Marcia, approve. Paul, motion carries unanimously. That moves us into section 4, case 4A. A motion for the service connected disability benefits for Louis Baker was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4A? Brian? Rita? Marcia? Adam? Paul? Andrew? Willie? And Carol? Motion carries 5-2, 1 abstention. 4B, the motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for James Wilson made and properly seconded. Discussion on 4B. Brian? Rashida? Martha? Adam? Paul? Andrea? Millie? And Carol?
Approved.
Motion carries 5-2, 1 abstention. 4C, motion to approve service connected disability benefits for UC Cook was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4C? Brian? Rashida? Marshall? Adam? Paul?
Abstain.
Andrew? Sinner? Willie? And Carol? Motion fails 0-5 with 3 abstentions noted. 14, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Alfred Blackett made and properly seconded. Any discussion on D? Brian? Rashida? Marcia? Adam? Paul? Andrea? Billy?
4D approved.
Anchor.
Approved.
The vote was 4-3 with 1 abstention. As chair, I'll vote to deny. So the motion fails 4-4. 4B, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Joshua Rivera was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4B? Brian? Marcia? Adam?
Approved.
Paul?
Approved.
Andrea? Approved. Willie?
Approved.
Egbert?
Approved.
Motion carries 6-2. 4F, the motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Thomas Figueroa was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4F? Brian. Rashida. Marcia.
No.
Adam. Paul.
No.
Under. Willie. Carol.
No.
Motion fails 0-6 with 2 abstentions. For G, a motion to approve the service connect disability benefits for Jermaine Parks was made a properly seconded. Any discussion on it? Yeah. Rashida. Marcia.
Yeah.
Adam. Paul.
No.
Andrea. Willie. And Carol.
No.
Motion fails 0-6 with 2 abstentions. For H.
What was the vote on that? I'm sorry.
Civics 062.
All right, thank you.
Yes. For H, motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Brittany Rawlings made and properly seconded. Any discussion on H? Brian. Sheena. Marcia.
No.
Adam. Paul.
No.
Andrea. Willie. Carol.
No.
Fails 0-6 with 2 abstentions. For I, motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Tanisha Thomas. Properly seconded. Any discussion on for I? Brian. Rashida. Marcia.
Approved.
Adam. Paul. Lily. And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries unanimously. Please for J, motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Jeffrey also was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on J? Brian. Rashida. Marcia.
This is K.
J.
Yeah. Deny.
Paul.
Deny.
Andrea. Willie. And Carol. J.
No.
Motion fails 0-6 with 2 abstentions. For K, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Christopher Barfield was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on K?
Dr. So both in IMEs said so. If you can go to page 28 of Dr. Finger's report, he points out Dr. Hayworth's statement, which is inaccurate. You see this a lot. It should be noted that Dr. Hayworth indicated in her report dated 3/6/24, Dr. Weiss stated that he had recovered from a psychiatric standpoint. This is incorrect. Dr. Weiss did not state that. He stated he is at maximum medical improvement. That's a big difference. And that's our city doctor. Just quoting another doctor report, inaccurate, which swings this whole thing. I just want to point that out. Both doctors, both eyes need to understand. That's all.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Frank. So ask if there's any other discussion.
Yes, or do we need to table this and have it be revisited and get the language correctly? But right now, if we're gonna go into the record, it's incorrect. Even though we might still vote no, whatever, we need to table this and have the doctor do correct the medical report.
Dr. Howard is no longer the medical.
It doesn't matter, just keep going on what she said.
Yeah, but
She,
Dr. Medical,
it doesn't matter. I didn't say she, I'm talking about the one that said that what she said should be correct. So then somebody has to correct the medical report, because if the member decides to follow this through and take this report, the record is going to relate to what Dr. Harper is saying, right? Am I right? I mean, are there questions? Let me ask the question. I'm not going to say am I right.
Question, Carol. I would say that as the voting members, you can allocate credibility to the doctor's reports. Brian's statement lends itself to that credibility. I think that is sufficient. I don't think we can substitute medical evaluation for I think that's kind of what she was saying, so.
No, she said Dr. Horner is not here. That's what she's saying. That's different from what you're saying. That, but she's not here. Don't mean responsibility somewhere lies on this board is what I'm saying. So now we're voting on records that are incorrect. And when the member has to move forward with this, it's like Brian said, it's going to sway. It might sway. I don't think it's going to sway. It might sway the direction in which the board vote or the hearing panel vote or the court vote.
No, I didn't.
So I'm saying, do we go down in history and vote on this case?
But what I'm saying is that I think it's a record versus. I
Okay.
don't think there's any records. If the opinion doesn't accurately reflect the records, and that goes to credibility, I think. And I think that was pointed out, which came out of consideration in determining how to vote. I think that's how I feel.
Thanks for clarifying. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, hearing no other discussion. Brian. Rashida. Marcia.
Approve.
Adam. Paul.
Approve.
Andrea. Approved. Willie.
Approved.
Carol.
Approved.
Good job. 4L, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Darian Blackman is made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4L? Brian.
I approve.
Rashida. Marcia.
Approved.
4L, Adam. Paul.
Approved.
Andrea. Approved. Willie.
Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries unanimously. 4M, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Fausto Bonifacio Moranta, was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on M? Hearing none. Brian. Rashida. Marcia.
Denied.
Adam.
Stay.
Paul. Andrea. Approved. Willie.
Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries 5-2 with one abstention. 4N, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Michael Boyes was made or properly seconded. Any discussion on 4N? Brian. Rashida. Marcia. Adam. Paul.
Denied.
Andrea. For 4N. Approved. Paul, were you on N?
Oh, I might have said it wrong. I said it wrong. Approved.
For 4N.
For him, yes.
And Andrea, you approved.
Yes.
Thank you. Willie.
Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries 7-1. For O, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Sebastian Carbone is made and properly seconded. Any discussion on O? Brian.
Denied.
Rashida. Marcia.
Denied.
Adam. Paul.
Denied.
Andrea. Willie. Carol.
Denied.
Motion fails 0-6 with 2 abstentions. For P, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Francisco Castellanos was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on P? Hearing none. Brian.
Approved.
Rashida. Marcia.
Denied.
Adam.
Stay.
Paul.
Approved.
Andrea. Approved. Willie.
Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries 5-2 with 1 abstention. For Q, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Craig's BA was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on Q? Brian. Rashida. Marcia.
Denied.
Adam. Paul.
Denied.
Andrea. Willie. And Carol.
Denied.
Motion fell 0-7 with 1 abstention. For R, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Nicholas Piano was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on R?
Jackie,
Yes.
page number 4, we're going to page 26 of the file. Dr. Lessing's report. Under opinion and conclusions, this chart reflects functional capacity evaluation that indicates a minimum capacity for medium physical demand work. Accordingly, Mr. Deanno is not totally disabled. Police work is not usually manual. So I don't know that his opinion is based on the right standard. And you can go on to read, he is not permanently disabled as he has been working in a modified duty capacity. He's working light duty because he can't be a cop. They've given him MMI and doctor rules. He can return to work in light duty, but we don't do that. You have to be able to be a police officer or not. That's the standard. This doctor, who needs that standard. It's pretty clear. So I don't know if we're gonna kick it back or if we're provoking, but we're starting to see more and more of this from doctors, different language that's just not, it's not a fair look at the way it's supposed to be. I'll let you decide if we can move on with something else.
Thanks,
Well,
Brian.
based on that, I think
So there's a motion for R, you take a revised motion.
So we'll for,
I'll say.
Revised motion was made and sent to for R to a hearing panel, be properly seconded, any discussion, hearing none on the revised consistent, Brian, Rashida, Marcia, Adam, Paul, Willie,
approved,
revised motion carried unanimously for F. Motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Darlene Heroin is made and properly seconded. Any discussion on F? Brian, Rashida, Marcia, Adam, Paul, Andrea, Will, and Carol.
approved,
Motion carries 7-1. For T, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Jen L. Foreman was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on T? Brian. Rashida, approved. Marcia, approved. Adam, approved. Paul, Andrea, approved. Will, Carol.
approved,
Motion carries unanimously. For you, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Timothy J. Rowdy is made and properly seconded. Any discussion on you? Brian,
Deny.
Marcia, Rashida, Marcia,
denied,
Paul,
Denied.
Andrea, Willie,
Yes, please.
and Carol.
denied,
Motion fails 0-7, 1 extension. For B, the motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Sharon T. Payman was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on B? Ryan, Rashida, Marcia, Adam, Paul, Andrea, Willie, and Carol.
approved,
Motion carries 5-2, 1 extension. For W, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for John Heston. In a second, seconded. Any discussion on W? Ryan, Rashida, Marcia,
approved,
Paul, Andrea, approved, Willie,
approved,
and Carol.
approved,
Motion carries unanimously. For X, the motion to approve the service connected disability benefit for Stephen Hunter was made and properly seconded. Discussion on X. Brian, Rashida, Marcia,
approved,
Adam, Paul, Andrea, approved, Willie, and Carol.
approved,
Motion carries 7-1. For Y, motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Frank Kennedy was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on Y? Brian, Rashida, Marcia, Paul,
Denied.
Andrea, Willie,
I'm sorry.
wow.
Dr. Dave.
denied. All right, let me stop.
Motion fails 0-6 with 2 abstentions. For Z, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Joseph Kramer was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 4Z? Brian, Rashida, Marcia,
Denied,
Adam, Paul,
Approved.
Andrea, approved, Willie,
approved,
and Kathy.
approved,
Motion carries 5-2 with 1 extension. For double A, motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Jose Latoro II was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double A? Brian,
Deny.
Rashida, Marcia,
Denied.
Paul, Andre, Willie, and Joe.
Denied.
Bill 028, for double B, a motion to approve the service connected facility benefits for John Martin was made and properly seconded. Any discussion of double B? Marcia,
Denied.
Paul,
Nine.
Willie,
Abstain.
and Bill.
Denied.
Motion bill 07 with one abstention. For double C, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Robert Martinez was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double C? Brian,
No.
Rashida, Marcia,
Denied.
Adam, Paul,
Nine.
Andrea,
Denied.
motion fails 0-7 with one abstention. Case 4 double C, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for the facilities made and properly seconded.
Talk to him.
Give reported his opinion, located here. Only by December 7, 2021. This makes this totally the same. What you about secondary. I don't still say. This one I like to send. I like to send to here.
Revising motion was made to sign case 4 double hearing panel, seconded. Any discussion on the revised motion? Rita, Marcia, Paul, Andre. Revised motion carries unanimously. Case 4 double E, a motion for the service connected disability benefits for John Nobles was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on the board voting? Brian,
Denied.
Rashida, Marshall,
Denied.
Paul,
Nine.
Andrea, Willie, and Bill.
Denied.
Motion fails 0-7 with one abstention. For double F, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Magdalena Ortiz was made and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, Brian. Rashida, Marcia,
Denied.
Adam, Paul,
Roof.
Andrea, Will, and Carol. The vote was 4-4 as chair, I vote to deny, so the motion fails 4-5 for double F. For double G, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for John Nichols, made properly seconded. Any discussion on the double G? Hearing none, Brian. Rashida.
Denied.
Adam. Paul.
Nine.
Andrea. Willie.
Denied.
Motion fails 0-6 with 2 abstentions. Case 4 double H, the motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Daniel E. Griffin was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double H? Brian.
Denied.
Marshall. Adam. Paul. Willie. And Bill.
Denied.
Motion fails 0-7, one extension. Case 4 double I, motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Scott Schweitzer was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double I? Brian. Rashida. Marshall.
Denied.
Adam. Paul.
Nine.
Andre. Willie. And Carol.
Denied.
Motion fails 0-7, one extension. For double J, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Tyrone Simmons was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double J? Ryan.
Denied.
Rashida. Marshall.
Denied.
Abstain.
Paul.
Nine.
Andre. Willie. Carol.
Denied.
Motion fails 0-6 with 2 abstentions. For double K. A Motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Sharon Smith was made and properly accepted. Any discussion on that? Brian?
Deny.
Marcia?
Deny.
Adam?
Aye.
Paul?
Deny.
Audrey? Lily?
Nine.
Motion fails 0-7 with one extension. Or double L, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Agnes Steiner was made and properly accepted. Any discussion on it? Brian? Sheila? Marcia?
Stay.
Paul?
Approved.
Willie? Andrew? Approved. Willie?
Approved.
Just getting you warmed up.
Approved.
Motion carries 5-2 with one extension. Or double M, motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Ms. Stevens was made and properly accepted. Any discussion on double M? Brian? Sheila? Marcia? Paul? Andrew? Will? And Carol.
Deny.
Motion goes 0-7 with one extension or double N. Motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Judith is made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double N? Brian?
Abstain.
Sheila? Marcia? Andrew? Paul? Willie? Sarah?
Deny.
Motion fails 0-7 with one extension. Or double O, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for rural development was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double O? Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia?
Deny.
Paul?
Deny.
Audrey? Willie?
Deny.
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. Or double P, a motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Anthony Farrow was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double P? Brian?
Approved.
Sheila? Marcia? Adam? Paul?
Approved.
Andrea? Willie?
Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries 5-2 with one extension. Or double Q, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Sharon Babies with made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double Q? Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia? Paul? Deny. Willie? Carol?
Deny.
Motion fails 0-7 with one extension. For double R, motion to approve service connected disability benefits for Carrie L. McBravian was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double R? Brian?
Approved.
Sheila? Marcia? Adam?
Stay.
Paul? Audrey? Willie?
Approved.
And Carol?
Approved.
4-3 with one extension as chair. I will vote to deny and so that she's not support for this extension. These 4 double Fs, the motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Inigo Rodriguez was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on double Fs? Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia? Paul?
Deny.
Andrea? Willie?
Deny.
And Carol?
Nine.
Fails 0-8. And for double T, the motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Department Williams made and properly seconded. Any discussion on this case? None. Brian?
Deny.
Sheila? Marcia? Adam?
Deny.
Paul? Andrea? Willie?
Deny.
And Carol?
Deny.
Motion fails 0-8. That brings us to case 5A, the motion to approve the application for service connected disability beyond the 1-year deadline. That was made between Baidu and seconded. Any discussion on 5A?
I just want to ask him this. Read through it and he claims there's not a form. Yeah. Any process can be documented? Is there anything else?
He wanted benefit.
for, it took him what, because it was early retirement, so he wasn't here at all, right?
Yeah, every application, I learned. If you're saying.
Right, but if he's not here for 4 years because he's early retirement, how does he know?
Also, that you're not here, there's no council talking.
Can we send this to me directly so that you can find out exactly?
Yeah, I'd like to know more, so I'd appreciate it. Second.
Revised motion was made and seconded, it's by way to the hearing panel. Any discussion on the revised motion? Hearing none. Hearing none, Brian.
Oh,
Rashida. Marcia. Adam. Paul.
Approved.
Audrey. Willie.
Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Revised motion carries unanimously. That brings us into section 6, old business, case 6A, a motion to approve service and disability application for James D. Williams, whose name is properly seconded. Any discussion on 6A? Hearing none, Brian. Rashida. Marcia. Approved. Adam. Paul.
Approved.
Audrey. Approved. Willie.
Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries 7-1. 6B, a motion to approve the application for service connected disability for James D. Williams. I'm sorry, for Venus Day by made and properly seconded, and any discussion on 6B. Okay. Hearing none, 6B, Brian. Rashida. Marcia.
Approved.
Adam. Paul.
Approved.
Andrea. Willie.
Approved.
Approved.
Motion carries 7-1. 6C, the motion to approve the application for service connected disability regarding Harry Peterson was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 6C? Brian.
Approved.
Rashida. Marcia. Adam.
Approved.
Paul.
Approved.
Andrea. Willie.
Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries. 6D, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Paul Solak was made and properly seconded. And discussion on 6D. Hearing none, Brian. Rashida. Marcia. Adam. Paul.
Approved.
Andrea.
Approved.
Approved.
Motion carries 7-1. 6.
Jackie, what to go to?
On C,
6A.
I think 6-2.
Okay.
6E, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Edgar Vasquez was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 6E? Hearing none, Brian. Rashida. Marcia. Adam. Paul.
Approved.
Willie.
Approved.
Carol.
Approved.
Votes 4-3 with one abstention, and as chair, I'll vote to deny. So the motion for 6E fails 4-4 with one abstention. 6F, motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Anita Cologne was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on F? Ron.
Approved.
Sheila. Marcia. Adam.
Approved.
Paul.
Approved.
Andrea. Approved. Willie.
Approved.
Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries 6-2. Case 6G, a motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Robert J. Meyer, made and properly seconded. Any discussion on computer? Hearing none, Brian. Rashida. Marcia. Adam. Paul.
Approved. Approved.
And Carol.
Approved.
Motion carries 6-2. And 6H, motion to approve the service connected disability benefits for Elmo was made and properly seconded. Any discussion on 6H? Brian. Rashida. Marcia. Adam.
Approved.
Paul.
Approved.
Willie.
Approved.
Carol.
Huh?
6A, Marcia.
16.
Yeah.
Approved.
That's okay. Motion carries 7-1. That moves us to new business and the executive.
What you got cases, this week, so we're going to try to stick to that schedule. I usually release, do a nice job, and so then try to stick to that schedule to be the basis. But all your, the annual alcohol laws, announcing this month that we're going to be meet all their which is good. So it's good. The state audit, no update today, so we'll let you know. The actuary, as you know, we can update in February. Annual rate actuary presents the results. Also, PAF final figures should be out in the next several weeks. Should be 35 plus whatever. We expect funding results. It's a good year. Speaking of which, just before we get to investments, especially your people good year. So this fund's return was 12.91%. Still here in June. And updated data gives other public pension funds. And median return of 108 of pension funds with more than $1 billion during the same period of time is 10.2%. And our return was 12.9%. So over 2 points below the average annual return of public pension funds, underneath public pension funds. Look at funds like P-Service, we return 9.67%. Charity division of investments, 7.9%. North Carolina, 11.6%. You know, on and on. University, 9%, and 12.2%.
That's not again, that's the base.
So there's only really one fund we've seen so far. They work by the trustees and by staff, recommendations and consultants. They combine effort on the portfolio. You know, like why 5.4%? Years, pages of funds with returns. So it's Chris, trustees, staff, recommend everyone is involved in work.
Number of years in a row. I'd like to know how long, but it's a number of years.
It's been since 2016. The preliminary funding percentage will show that this fund has increased 20% over 24% in those 9 years. Unprecedented. Without an influx of large influx of capital, aside from incremental changes like employee contributions, state sales tax, stuff like that. The model is a successful model. This showed that to be the case. And Peter's analysis they looked at back in 2010 to 2019, we showed Russia. So,
You're saying,
this board,
Brian's question, you're saying that since we incorporated plan 16.
so you see, it's not just.
Okay.
Yes, during that time period, we changed over the portfolio. We were dating back to 2016. Like two guys each from CIO, in that time we altered the portfolio One was previously in the balance style to more of a public pension fund style. These have gone down dramatically to the index funds, so this fund is saved on well over half of what the fee structure was previously since now. But yes, timing of that, Carl, the combination of things made this fund successful. I'm sure to big five.
The city's funding the property that.
That's exactly right.
That wasn't happening.
Found was not happening until the changes to the assumed rate was made. Remember, the assumed rate prior to being changed was 9% forever, but now we're going to realistic assumed rate at the time, resulting in less contributions being made by the city. It's actually.
Keeping outside forces from affecting how you do business.
That's correct too. That's Josh. Josh, to us in the seminar, that's consistent with the having the fiduciary duty, all the trustees. And quite frankly, staff has to make recommendations. There's a fiduciary duty there, even though there's not a vote. Doing fiduciary 2% investment companies to the trustees from the state. One other thing is with proxy verdict is in yes, America about the verdict, they're just talking to someone here. People proxy their feedback, they're just up to the
Absolutely. We've been really busy working through preparing our system actually, for one thing, and discovery. But I did say that data issues for the team's been working with various supports and partners in city, in Brazil, and QRT to make sure that our data is available. So normally in the transformations, joint venture out is the so we are making sure that our existing data, existing processes, and existing are ready for us to launch. At the same time, we are also looking for the business process documentation that is under their set. Then we are getting ready for doing actual environment documentation and the
very important of the legwork that's being dated on the business processes to get it all documented, get it all corrected or updated with one filling. By the way, project work was tremendous for us. Once all that stuff in place, that's the initial advocate. Then one stop, see what systems are available to improve the detection payroll process. So this is a lot of the sexy, difficult work to be done early, but it's absolutely necessary to discover.
Receivers.
Well, yeah, there are a couple of secrets. There's one that's secret. Communicating with the services. Some that you see in the material. I don't know if there's any interest in this. One, but where it's motion.
I'll make a motion, any, trustee or staff that wants to attend conference, which, actually is very strongly related to what you just talked about. If you look at the agenda, there's a lot about the pension litigation. I'll finish my motion, any staff or, trustee that wants to attend next.
We did add project, by the way, also. We did add project to the NC. Or to talk about.
Motion is made properly seconded regarding the travel conference recommendation. Any discussion? Hearing none. Brian? Sheila? Marcia? Adam? Paul? Evelyn? Motion carries unanimously. Any other good business?
I must be listening right now.
How can I do that?
How did you do that yet? The vote don't count.
Now the motion.
That's it.
All right, any other new business? Okay, Fran, just a update on the litigation summary.
Yeah, I was unable to be here today. She indicated 2 cases, 11 cases in combination, 1 case currently in Colorado.
Thanks, Fran. With folks like take a 5-minute break before we start PC.
Yeah.
Getting strong.
6-minute break.
Oh, we make the rock.
Motion to adjourn was made and properly seconded, and we will take a break and then we'll move it to TC.
Just be glad. I can.
Just go, please.
All right, welcome back. We're going to move into deferred compensation portion of the meeting. And our first item is approval of the minutes from October. That motion was made and properly seconded. No discussion, Brian. Francois. Marcia. Adam.
Say.
Paul. And Christie. And Willie. And I'll note that Carol is not here for this vote. The motion carries and essentially noted that was us into the.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. The deferred compensation has under management for October, ending October is moved billing $328,404,089. That's about 1.5% increase over the month of September. Plan participants that have an account balance is 27,928. That's 240 more in the month of September. Participants contributing is 21,010. That's 182 more than the previous month. And new enrollments received in October is 196. Year to date, it's now at 2,306 new enrollments, which is 22% above last year at this time. 401 assets under management is $7,340,348. That's 1.2% increase over September month. 2,092 participants, 9 less than September. In terms of Philadelphia Parking Authority, there are 675 participants with 8 new enrollments received in October. Housing Development Corporation is 49 participants total with 1 new enrollment. Regarding the post-tax, Roth balance is $130,513,330. That's about 4.5% increase in September. There are now 10,225 participants in the Roth. That's 300 more than the month of September. So in terms of Roth utilization, it's now at 37%. When we look at percentage contributions, it is now 3,811 participants have elected a percentage contributions. That's 153 more than the month of September with 18% penetration rate. Phone volumes did rise up, 3,537. That's 176 more phone calls, and online accounts continue to increase. We are now at 80% of participants that have account balance have an online.
Who isn't in 401A that who can be contributing, like what we discussed last month, so we can see the progress going forward with starting time.
Sure. So I can work with our team to elect how many participants that are making 65,000 that are eligible for the city match are not contributing. If I understand correctly. So we did do a campaign, as we shared with the subcommittee. There were 99 Plan 10 participants that are in that group of 65,000 and are not enrolled with that plan. And in the Plan 16 was even 43 participants. The total, when you look at the participants that are eligible for the match, that's 942, 45% of those that are enrolled in the 401 plan are currently not in the deferred compensation plan. So what we did do is do 2 outreach events in November for 2 of these individuals, targeting to ensure that they receive the message, evaluate the word, and receive that. In December, I'll be able to do an update, but I'll also try to work with my team to have it. If there are no further questions, I'll have to do the same. I'm sorry.
So just because we're talking Roth, but this can wait till the end if you want, but the Secure Act 2.0, the special catch-up, it was mandated to have to be Roth. Deferred until January 1, 26. It's our last meeting before that. in that, there was a provision where if you do not pay into Social Security, you are not mandated to contribute to Roth, right? We cleared that up for your staff. I just want to make sure, I'm getting told by firefighters, my members, that they're being told during some training sessions that it's mandated. It's a confusing topic, but I just want to be clear on, that's a massive distinction for the people that don't have to do that.
It is.
So if you could just make sure your folks are up to speed with that language, because in the people that they train are going to fall on both sides of it. So they're going to have to know how to, the distinction between the two. That's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's really timely feedback. Friday at 9 a.m. is the Philly team huddle call, and this week I'm joining it.
Okay.
So really timely feedback, and that's the day that's by the Sean, Christine, and Matt, and Don, and that team. So I appreciate that, because you're right, absolutely. That's something you gotta get right. And there's a very distinct line between those that have to provide it that way versus the other. So we want to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any other?
On that note, actually, we want to make sure that on feeling everyone has it correct. The people who are able to do that. Somebody, at least somebody calls it social security. Actually, stay tuned.
Well, if I can, I'll play the role of Matt Ring for a moment here and just go through the service summary for the month of October. And what you'll see is the retirement specialist, Sean Christine, had 182 consultations with 129 new enrollments, 25 increases, and 30 rollovers equaling a little over $5.9 million. So really great work that's happening there by the team at Services Philadelphia. Don from your CFP had 98 consultations with 1 enrollment, and again 4 rollovers with a little over $1 million. So just great activity by Don and Sean and Christina there. When you look at the office, it is still very much utilized. We had 59, so almost 60 walk-ins in the month of October, and 293 phone calls. So just a lot of activity that's going through the office. And as I just circle back to just those consultations, if you're familiar with the My Interactive retirement tool or My Interactive retirement income planning tool, 36 of those consultations leverage that work, which is great on a couple levels. One, right, if they haven't already created an online account, they're going to set up an online account, and that's helpful because security purpose. Once you establish your online account, it's hard for a bad agent to go in and establish an online account. Right? So that's good news. And then 2, right, it's leveraging the tool, and they're able to see where they are as far as tracking towards their income replacement as they think about their own retirement readiness. So some key activity there. As we look towards the group workshops, and you see again, I come back to 129 new enrollments last month in October. You'll see there's just some really great new employer orientations that were attended across the city, and I'm just going to highlight a few of them. And I'm just highlighting based on just some larger attendance. If you look at DC 47, you had 73 attendees at 2 events for DC 47. The mayor's office had an event with 75 attendees. You had a citywide employer orientation that had 55 attendees. DC 33 had a new employer orientation with 32 attendees. The police district had a police district 14 had a workshop with 44 attendees. And police district 15 had a workshop with 57 attendees. So just some really great activities happening across the city. And then as you look at the CFP webinars, Brian, I'm going to call out since you mentioned around the Roth, it's clearly a topic. It was the #1 CFP webinar that Don did in the month of October with 232 folks attending 1 seminar on Roth. So clearly people are looking at it and wanting to know the impacts of secure or of the new provision for catch up and whatnot, or they're just looking at additional laddering strategies, right, with buckets of money, but really well attended. So just really good activity. Again, it's a privilege to serve the city, one that we don't take for granted, and hopefully you're seeing that in how we're showing up for your members across the city. So thank you for that opportunity to share.
It's a question. DC 33 has 2 orientations per month. Is there a reason why we're not going twice a month to DC 33?
I can follow up with that.
Okay.
I don't directly have line of sight to that, but
Okay.
I'm happy to follow up with that.
Because I know at one point they also were going to the streets department because they were doing the orientation. And this is the group of employees that we really need to ensure get all the information and knowledge. So, and I know we did have two for DC 47. So they kind of both have that cadence every other week. They have orientation. So I want to just understand their, maybe they canceled it. I don't know.
Yeah, I do know that there was one, meeting the previous month where there was an overlap.
Okay,
I'm not sure if it was EC, 33 or not, but there was one where there was an overlap, and Matt and the team were attending another large meeting seminar where it was all hands on deck. So that might be why this month, in October, they didn't attend both. Because if I cheat, I look ahead at, November. Well, actually, I'm not seeing two in November, so,
okay.
let me find out with Matt and Mark, I can circle back.
Okay, good. And I'll talk to the plan administrator also to find out.
Thanks, Jackie. So you have staff report on the third quarter 2025, the first to fund performance. Staff has four recommendations this month. The first involves the Goldman Sachs International Opportunities Fund. Staff notes that it's underperformed significantly in the last 3 quarters. You can see that through their peer rankings, which most recently were the 90th percentile, and their 4, 3, and 5-year percentile rankings also fourth quartile. Now, while we acknowledge that this is a fairly quick turnaround in terms of how we normally evaluate funds on the shorter term performance, the deterioration here has been so rapid compared to what we normally see, that we're recommending that they be removed from the line of the asset scheme act to the international stock index, which take place in February. We also know that members can still have an active option with Dodge and Cox fund if they so choose to have the fund that's one much better and more consistent. Crew Jennison, which we should remain on watch. Recent performance here has been detrimental to the overall numbers, but not nearly as much as Goldman. And you can see how highly Crew Jennison ranked just as recently as February of last year. Harbor Capital, which we knew and we're sensitive to the fact that it's the most popular actively managed fund in the second lineup. There's about 10.5 or 11% of member assets there. They had a really rough quarter. You can see just at the end of the second quarter, the performance was very, very strong, both on an absolute and year ranking. But given how sharp flying was in the quarter, I think they're placing them on watch. Lastly, and I know the real estate funds, both broadly and then specific that have been managed, have been brought to the table before. Newburger Berman recently placed on watch. They had a very weak recent performance. We don't see a turnaround shortly. That will be coming back to the table with further recommendation about replacements or the index only in this space. Very weak peer ranking with very weak absolute ratings. Again, based on the watch with an eye towards possible further action as soon as early. Also remind the board that the advance fund board accepted staff recommendation at the October meeting. So while you'll see their returns reflected in the report, their teams be removed from the portfolio. So you're going to see that you can find one more report. applicant question. Golden Fund, just in terms of their timing. Like those mapping and their deadline. Coincidentally, the deadline to get on the next run for mapping, actually, we have to notify them officially, right? Happens to them. So if the board accepts that recommendation, we'll provide it, then they'll make it, so they can provide it. But how do you think question for anything?
With all these funds, Harbor Capital has been great for a long time, so this will be the question. Is there a key person that disappeared in any of these funds?
Not to our knowledge. That did happen, as I think we discussed with the banks, but nothing that we've seen, so nothing that we've seen so far. We'll be reviewing as, the application information comes to light. I'll share, interviewing, for the venue, we got the information. But yeah, we've definitely seen, key person reach, so for the advance, it does have an impact. But we're not seeing, at least so far, except.
Great. You want a motion for Goldman
I
now?
want to one. You want us to do.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to follow Stan's recommendation, eliminate Goldman from the offering and move the assets over to the.
I second.
Any discussion regarding the motion that was made in property second? Recognize.
So is that, yeah, I got a question. So are you agreeing to pay Newberger on watch or do you want Newberger on?
I'll let Stan lead the way. I think they're terrible. They've been terrible for a long time. But I'm going to trust your opinion. I'm not going to make that.
You just give it up. Okay.
Yeah, so just the Goldman Sachs recommendation.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trevor. Any other discussion? Hearing none, the roll, Brian. Brett. Marcia. Bill. Alan. Paul. Christie. William. Okay. Motion carries unanimously. Board.
Vanguard Money Market report for the third quarter of 2025. As a reminder, the board staff established an account to collect the revenue paid to the plan and then pay and qualifying expenses of the deferred comp plan. All the funds are held in Vanguard Money Market Treasury account, and the balance as of the end of the third quarter was a little under $139,000. Total income for the third quarter was just under $16,000, and that's made up of participant fees, rebates, interest income. The only expense for the plan year to date has been for the most recent plan audit. And consistent with past practice, when we get close to around $1 million is when we've done for that rebate to the members.
Yes, Christie. Question.
So you know the last time we made an emergency.
It's reasonably recent, given that we're at, excuse me, we're at 130,000, but I didn't double check the date. I will email it to you with the end of that. I will find that.
Any other question? And that motion to adjourn to first pharmacy.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to investment committee for approval minutes from October 23rd. There are a motion to approve minutes. The second, moved properly seconded. All those in favor?
Right.
Those opposed? Motion abstained. Dane, oh, you got me. Okay. Now it takes us to 10:92. Local low box. Yeah. It's a little steady record.
Thanks, Rob. So in your packet, here on electronic or paper, the two reports, you have our tech memo, and then we've got the staff memo on the search. You'll recall that, this was, posted, from early April till June 2nd of 2025 for the purpose of reviewing, both active and passive language, counts in the space, and it was done, with an eye towards the, performance specifically of one of our existing. So we posted it, we received, 14 firms submitted proposals. 11 of those 14 had to qualify minimum criteria for the document. Staff and Marquette reviewed based on several factors, limited or not limited to, but including their firm's assets under management, the caliber of their team, skill and reputation, operational efficiency and fees, performance, risk control, and so forth. After conducting those initial reviews, staff at Marquette held meetings or calls with 5 of them, Lyons Bernstein, William Cross, 80 State Street, Online. We also did additional meetings and due diligence with Fidelity, Central, and founders and search. Ultimately, staff and Marquette came to a 2-part recommendation. The first would be that either of the 2 acting managers, Fidelity or release at present. We base that on comparisons of those 2 firms to the other entity managers candidates. We didn't see what we'll call significant upside or significant probability of better performance than either of those 2 managers. We also think that Fidelity the best or the best position of the candidates to do well in the market downturn secondary environment. I think you can see that as recently as this past month. The portfolio index was down. Fidelity was also the bust of one of the other things is yes. One of the other things is that some of the investment restrictions that the board has are particularly applicable in the post-low ball space. So for example, Walmarts of the world, tobacco restrictions, they are often some of the more defensive names within the low ball. Theoretically, an active manager could be able to better convert around those restrictions because they have been able to find something similar or upsize another division that they think has similar characteristics. Index would not have. And we've seen that go over the last. We have seen that. So that's why we believe, at least for present, maintaining the 2 active managers makes sense. We do believe, however, without funding, just to give the board the ability, in the event that there is a deterioration, one of the or both do not perform as well as expected, that having a passive option, no money set to present, if the contract ready, get the account set up. We did believe that to improve it, so that we don't have to come back to one another search and separate that we need to do in order. Search was original.
How that's different. Which say we have that.
We would be able to come to the board and say, yes, there's been deterioration in the FS. We believe the index is better suited. Here's why.
So would you have opened the index fund?
Yes. We would open the account, we would complete the contract and complete the paperwork, but no money was put into that. Because we just have the ability to do that.
And you would get back to us before, right?
Yeah. But we would always, absent an emergency situation as outlined in the IPS, which then is alongside the CIO, that's what we'd always go back to.
You get the hired.
Sorry, no,
They would be, yeah, we would have,
Be smart, but the other person.
yeah, we would have
But
to,
they had, we had to give a motion to hire,
yes.
the index.
Yes.
You wanna know my smart market?
Something for me to look forward to.
We did get a couple of, index responses, State Street, Northern Rumline. Rumline's obviously the existing manager, they have the lowest fees. We're familiar with their work, and again, we're refunding this contract. But that is, it's recommended to be a process.
So, but since we already have one line, do we have to go into another contract with them to do this part right here? That's what they're doing on that side.
We don't, the way, because it's a different fund, it's a different product, so what we've done, we used to have actually separate contracts, now we work with the wrong parts now, it's just having them all contract, so we would have to amend it to a scheme set. Right. So it would require, it would require.
Any other questions? Go ahead. No.
Plan later. And lowering the fee, that's a good sign, I'll take it, but never a good sign. I mean, note that it's hard for active managers in this space to beat the index. These are significant. How much longer do you give them before if we approve, you know, putting some strategy in place as a holder? How much longer do you think? They've been around for 3 years. I'm going to say 3 years. But overall, is it fair to say active managers aren't keeping up with the index?
Well, it's not, no, I wouldn't say that. MFS, for example, is the other active. But that's been in public environment. What we believe is that Fidelity is better positioned than we think we're in the market, but we think they're more defensive. We also think that given some of the investment restrictions.
Shown that like order, have we seen,
Well,
have we seen their performance?
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at, for example, the 1 month number, the index was down close to 2.5%. Fidelity was down 5% less. So they're protected over the fiscal year to date, which is almost 2 quarters or nearly 2 quarters of data. Index was down 1.8. Fidelity was down 0.6. That seems to be
Playing out.
laying out what we think. Now, Brian, to your point about active versus passive, one of the concerns we have, as we noted about the index, is that there's stocks like Walmart, stocks like tobacco, all the index we do is take them out. That means everything else gets upsized. At least theoretically, an active manager has the ability to say, okay, you can't buy the tobacco stock, you can't buy Walmart, you can't buy whatever else it is. We're going to try to find something similarly situated and navigate around that as best we can. We believe that's an advantage, and especially doesn't mean that they'll execute on it perfectly, but at least it gives them the opportunity. This doesn't happen. And so given those two factors, we believe for now, keeping the 2 managers we have with the possibility of going to an index 6 months from now, a year from now. That's pretty. Yeah. Makes sense.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make what's the recommendation? Is to open the index account, not on it.
Second. Been moved, properly seconded. All those in favor?
Good night.
Any opposed?
Not a question. So does the motion that we made, keeping current through active members as well? But that was part of the recommendation or not? No? That was part of the recommendation, I'm saying. No, no.
That with the, well, staff recommendation. I don't know what the recommendation is.
Keep the 2 existing managers and open the index account without funding.
So it's all,
No.
I think it's covered. I think your question is good. And the answer is yes, we're doing that by accepting the recommendation.
Got it.
And I think we did the motion and voted. I think.
Yeah, vote.
Nick? So, if you think,
So we have local
diverse and looking like, good short for the quarter. As a reminder, the funds of public equity and fixed income managers are encouraged on aspirational basis as subject to positive best execution direct. It's 35% of the trades qualifying brokerage firms. In total, for the third quarter, the public equity manager targeted 47% of qualifying trades. Firms 55% of the trades to be the aerial company percentage for the third quarter. I think there was only two managers that were under the target for the quarter. That the Emerald Causeway still at 26% for the year. Just under the 20%. So a very strong quarter for brokers on the equity side. Third page breaks down on the equities who split broker receive trades put on a dollar percentage basis. And then for the fixed income managers, improvement from the second quarter of this year, 5 of the 6 for the quarter were above the target at life below. So we had 32% qualifying rate for the quarter, up to 24% for the year.
MetLife had a better quarter.
They did have a better quarter, and we discussed some of the reasons previously why, especially with the emerging market, dead space for the when they come period trades at that size. But we do have conversations subject to this. So we did see a pretty good there as well for the quarter. And also unusually for them. So they're now so 5%.
Question, is it possible to break down the minority versus women brokerage firms?
Yeah, we can provide.
Yeah.
We can provide.
Okay. And because, you know, statistics point out that white women are in the winners in every case in regard to when you put everyone together, women versus minorities. That's together. But if we could just see and understand what percentage of minority businesses and what percentage are women.
Yeah, we'll send out.
That will give us.
For example, I mean, I can just tell you off the top of my head that I just haven't noticed because Legal Capital, which got 48% of where they're finding.
Okay.
And Sarah, I check that because when they were from bank fraud, which I didn't get a lot this month that are actually. Cabrera is actually. We will present the list.
Yeah.
I started with thank you. And we also.
What about you? I want to.
I don't know. It
Right, that's the thought.
Yeah, so the other thing is, we have a list that we say is qualifying.
Right.
Those are the ones that we know, that
Right.
come to us and fill, I'll call it an application.
Yes.
It's not really.
Right.
An application, right, denying it. But we know based on the data they provide our check, which categories may fall into. Occasionally, a manager will contact us and say, we use this broker, we believe they should qualify. But we're just looking at the list yesterday, I'm having to send out.
Have you had any feedback from some of these companies regarding women and minorities in terms of investment possibilities with the current political climate in terms of their philosophy and what their thoughts are? Because I know that some companies are speaking up. I know in the benefits world, what I do hear from some providers is that some of their clients are saying, no, we're not going to contract with minorities and women. We're not going to do that. And I don't know if that's happening.
We have received
Well, obviously,
feedback from any of the neighbors to this point.
okay.
And we still collect all the data.
It's good.
As you know, we report that, but no change. Or heard from them.
It's good. So you're going to be giving us a list of who's available and breaking it down?
The list will have
Women.
The list is the brokers were aware of that the managers have or can use. And it'll be broken down by gender, minority, as Catherine Cheryl or Wade mentioned, some fall into multiple categories.
Yes.
We may have local and
Yes.
large, we may have women.
And then who from our list that we actually use?
For who the man.
Yeah.
You'll be able to say, okay, you have back office, and say, movements.
Yes.
Yeah, so, so if you say like, we're fever minority owned, but would they tell you, that's the broker that, this is the broker that needs to say, or do we have more people in this one?
There are 4 brokers then. So
But this is the only one.
these are the ones that got used for
Yes.
this quarter.
Yes.
For this quarter, the brokerage list, they will send you is longer because there are other firms, some orders they use them, some orders.
Will the mayor's new directive have an effect on this? Yeah.
You don't know yet?
We asked the law to give us a briefing.
Okay.
I'd rather, that would be likely an executive session.
Right. I can see what if
That's a good idea. Yes, that's a very good.
Anything else? Across the board.
Yeah.
The fund performance for the month through October, is a good month for the plan, in line with the benchmark and positive 70 basis points. Year to date, up to 13%, which is in line with benchmark, and fiscal year to date, 5.2%. Just ahead of the benchmark. You also see strong longer term numbers going up for 5 years and continuing tightening of the spread, getting closer back to the portfolio things that people all mid to late 2015. We also spent out the estimates through the end of November. This went out last night. They were also strong, roughly 70 basis point estimate. Also the benchmark. By roughly 7 to 10 basis points. Continue to monitor, kind of been an interesting and somewhat volatile market. Again, we continue to see as the others a lot of conflicting data. Consumer spending on one hand is remaining very strong, but it's driven by, let's call it, the upper middle to upper end of the market. Consumers on the middle to rather lower end are cutting back. Article yesterday about Gen Z, for example, cutting the planning public back, for example, holiday spending. We've seen consumers start finding default at higher car prices, so there's been a slowdown. Car sales compared to earlier this year, that seems to be more across the board. Surging demand and many of the U.S. local food banks, but then again, on the conflicting side, there was record U.S. spending on the side of the month holiday, shopping and spending $. Payroll losses have sped up in the last 4 weeks. But again, conflicting gas prices at the lowest level. So there's just a lot of conflicting signals being sent by the market. We haven't seen the worst yet, perhaps, of the drag that was expected from the tariffs, but there's a lot of fear that that's being set off first, partially offset by the surge in gas spending. So that's kind of canceling out some of the impact of the tariffs. Risk assets, particularly those that are considered the riskiest, have submitted Bitcoin, I think, is down 30+%, just as an example, which is all the time high. I think if it gets below it, there's a lot of speculation dropping a lot more. That's kind of like the key level of support. And then still waiting to see what the Fed does about any further rate cuts in December. It appears to be the most split where it's been for quite some time. The president did announce yesterday that exactly. So, are you going to worry about inflation, which still isn't at or near 2%? Or are you going to worry about job growth, which looks at best? And that's what they're kind of wrestling with. The president did say yesterday, without naming the person, that he's deciding who wants to name that staff. Right. Want to cut rates. Well, I mean, I think just given the makeup of the board come May, I believe in May, they'll then have appointed a majority or close to it of the Fed governors that you anticipate that perhaps again, what that does to inflation. You also have this court case still outstanding on the ability of the tariffs. Don't know when that'll come down. You'd like to think it could semi-expedite. So that could obviously change. As for the individual managers, no actionable concerns. Most have a strong month or in line the benchmark. A couple that didn't. The reasons are explainable. Area just as an example, extremely deep value manager. So when the market is kind of roaring for the stock, expect them to do as well. We're still ahead of the benchmark since inception. And even as recently as Mackenzie, we talked about recently as last month. For Zion, we'll come back to avoid further early 2026. Real estate, there's no quarterly update there. That probably was January, not the February, but we hadn't seen anything as clarity previously. But all in all, the portfolio appears to be in place, so I would manage cash values and city a bulk of the city budget. Comments about managers for the portfolio.
So I would say that this is a good segue into the sources and uses memo. So with all the discussion around volatility, we have the sources and uses memo. We can deliberately be balanced in on cash with a fixed income. Cash, as you know, has been yielding, it's 4%, so it's actually a nice support for the portfolio. And as you think about the final tranche of the money received, so 560 million March of 2025, we have 60 million remaining. And you see on the table, this is under tab 4. Yeah, right after the performance bid. Right before tab 5, right? You'll see the table where you end up taking phase 3, which is the recommendation for today, and those monies are getting redeployed into fixed income. We spoke about the Fed, we spoke about interest rates coming down. That's a potential tailwind for the asset classes. When we think about timing, the timing is worked out in favor.
This is the last part of the multi-step process you told us about originally. Followed that process.
Correct.
We need to get.
Correct, Randy wanted to knock out anything in phase three, so.
I got theirs
Don't
earlier.
get to your.
We gave it to them earlier.
Right.
So there are four managers that are there, obviously the index, Garcia is a conservative manager, tied very closely to the Department's average index. And then Longfellow and Logan who also have the ability to take a little bit more risk, and consider quarter plus, but still, still reasonably conservative. So index 20 million, Garcia 10, and Longfellow 15. That would complete those applications.
And none of this is changed. Any questions?
Approximate percentage.
I would have to hold it. Cash balance, just as benefits go out to requirements. I can send it right out. It still leaves a significant. It still leaves a significant cash.
Just remind me.
In the report.
How much did we have before? I'm sending the benefits out.
That's what I'm trying to. So
432 million.
So that was at the end of the
Yep.
So they take 60 million out, you're at 370, and then benefit payments, so close to 300 million. Let's call it 290 to 310, but I can send you exactly.
You got your own guys.
And why we don't benefit.
Enough to get through March, don't expect more cash.
What did you say?
Enough to get through March, we're anticipating more cash.
Yeah, assuming capital call, assuming capital calls and distributions are relatively constant, if it's something super surprising, then yeah, should raise capital, but raise cash.
We got this one out in another 3 weeks, right? Another 18. 2 weeks.
2.5 weeks. Absent something extraordinary.
I still think close.
Come down a little, like when it's around 3. The fails over there. It's still high, and I think I remember from you, Rob, or someone, Roland or Carol, someone asked at the last meeting, I remember. Maybe intro meeting about if there was a floor where we didn't take cash for supply. Maybe Frank, I don't, someone I think last is good. I think we said roughly 3%. But again, that's all subject to other factors in the market. We're still north of where we're comfortable.
Fine. Security fund meetings for October.
It's under $201,000. Year to date, $1.6 million. Just over 57 million since the program started. Low one diverse. AUM combined 62 plus percent. First 52.41, and then Philadelphia and surrounding county both 11%. First 3 meetings of 2026, January 22nd, February 26th, with Frank, January, March 27th.
And 6 is elected new members, or acting as new and re-elected members. So, okay. So earlier this year, the board conducted an election for 4 elected trustee positions. The election was held between September 19th and October 22nd. $25,423 for sent active service members, employees. Monthly personality of $362,065 was conducted at the board's offices on October 29th. And of the 7 candidates, 4 candidates received the highest number of votes in the service trustees. The City of Philadelphia Board of Pensions Times for 4 years and beginning January 26th. Brian Kaufman, 22,107, congratulations. Willie Sierra, 1,741, congratulations. Carol Scoots-Baylor, 1,548, congratulations. And Tanya Davis, 1,207, congratulations. And so let's do the formal oath. You all raise your right hand. And after me, I state your name. Solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. That I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. The Constitution of this Commonwealth. The Philadelphia Rule Charter. And that I will discharge. The duties and responsibilities. Of a member of the Philadelphia Board of Pensions Retirement for Fidelity.
As a member.
I'll discharge the duties of a member of the Philadelphia Board of Pensions and Retirement.
As a member of the Philadelphia Board of Pensions and Retirement.
With fidelity.
With fidelity. Why do I have to defend the United States Constitution?
Let's talk about that later. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your Is there any new business or testing committee?
The answer to the question was asked, I just.
We could applaud that. Any old business? We are adjourned. We are adjourned. Let's call the full board in session. Is there a motion to bring the application that we met in committee? Second. Remove and properly seconded. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried. Any new business? Full business? It is moved and properly seconded. We are adjourned and we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
I didn't really know that was just open. I had to
Might be the late.